Hello there, and this is part one of a fictional rendition of something I call NKUltra Love, the woman who changed the game. What I'm thinking of doing is putting this story on Patreon and doing a number of videos where I just basically tell you a story. I am a writer, and it could be written out in chapters, and then I could force people to subscribe to some you know, uh, episodic series of chapters, or I could write an ebook. But I'm really motivated to get this story out because it's fascinating to people who have any real insight into these types of matters. And I think that it can truly inform and inspire change. This is the pin I've worn every single day since my 5 cat and I were separated. And now I'm embroiled in a legal brouhaha that revolves around getting them back. I just want to point this pin out every single day, because every single day I pray for them and pray that they are returned to me in my arms of love. And I have my phone set to go off repeatedly throughout the day to remind me that if I'm not working for them, I'm not doing the right thing. Every single day of my life will be devoted to getting my cats back from the people who agreed to return them and then unconscionably ceased contact. Well, I'm getting my cats back. More about NKUltra, the woman who changed the game. Once upon a time in the world, someone stood in a room and was very pleased to meet a musician. I'll call him Todd Bumpkin. Todd Bumpkin was truly a musical genius who wrote "Bellow, It's Me." Another person who was there was Bichard Barriott, who was a person who was a pioneer in the origins of virtual reality games. Bumpkin and Barriott tried to do something to NKUltra called bringing her in. Kind of like that old car commercial, "Are you in?" Well, she wasn't. And our story begins where NKUltra is still fighting the game and being brought in 25 years later, from March 15th, 1995, all the way to September 14th, 2020. This woman, this pioneer, this courageous heroine, I just like the word hero, this courageous hero fights the game and everything that it brings into someone's life. The protection game in this fictional rendition, this bizarre story, this tale of woe, involves people having to make choices. Everybody has to make choices. We all know life is about what I call natural choices and natural sacrifices. For example, if you were on a boat that had your family in it and you started taking water, you might bail the keg of beer, and you might bail the ice chest full of food, and you might throw a lot of things off the side of the boat, but you wouldn't throw your living family off the boat. Now, would you? Would you? Another idea, to describe the concept of natural sacrifices. Let's say you're planning on getting a new set of golf clubs, or you want to upgrade your professional wardrobe so you look better and feel more spiffy at work. But your daughter comes home and says that she needs orthodontic work very badly. So That's going to cost about $2,000 over the next 2 years, and you realize that you can't afford the golf clubs or the new clothing because your daughter needs orthodontic work more than you need some brouhaha. That's what I call a natural sacrifice. There's just things you do for those you love, and that's all, that's all she wrote. But in the game, what I call unnatural or unholy sacrifices are asked of people. In this fictional world in which people are asked or coerced into playing the game, threatened and horribly tortured into playing the game, they're asked things like, would you have sex with Clint Eastwood to save his life? And if enough people say no, they kill Clint Eastwood. It's kind of sucks to be famous in this game because the famous people are used as sort of bait or fodder. You don't want to be famous if you live in the world where they're playing the protection game. Other questions they ask are, would you kill your sister to save your own life? Or would you kill one sister to save another sister? Or no, let's say a mother would or grandmother would ask a granddaughter, would you kill your 5-year-old daughter, or would you kill your husband's niece? Which one? She would ask this horrible old witch, this wretch from hell. She reminds in the story. She reminds everybody quite a lot of the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz, and we need to melt her. Um, this fictional grandmother would go around asking questions like that. She would ask a daughter who had a 16-year-old son, but also fostered other children at her home with her husband. Would you kill one of the children that you're fostering to save your son's life? And in the fictional rendition of this game, unfortunately, the character of the daughter does kill a child who has done no harm and is guilty of nothing except needing to be in a foster home. But she does this to save her own. One of the things that I want to put forth, and basically one of the basic thematic structures of this, is going to be that the concept of one's own and how everybody goes around always scurrying and trying to protect their own is one of the basic problems with humanity and the world. Because in a context in which this protection game is imposed on humankind, all of humanity should claim all of humanity and all living creatures uh, and the planet that they're on as their own. Just face it, if some entity, some organization, whether it's extraterrestrial or terrestrial, doesn't matter. If some organization tried to get you to kill cats or dogs or horses or parrots or ferrets or kids or whatever, and you had to be willing to kill innocent lives, truly innocent lives, in order to save your own, what if they were all your own? What if you were such a broad individual, like our hero, the one I call NKUltra? What if you were like NKUltra, the woman who changed the game, and you claimed all cats and dogs and horses and parrots and ferrets and innocent children as your own? There'd be no one to sacrifice because they're all yours and they're all your territory. And you're going to claim them all as your very own and hold them all to your heart. So no cruel vicious, evil entity can try to make you sacrifice those who aren't your own. After all, they all are. In this fictional rendition, in this world, this dystopia, um, this hero becomes known in what is called the secret society. But it's not a secret because everybody knows what's happening. How can they call it a secret society if everyone knows what's going on? And this person becomes an inspiration to others who want to be like her, but early on they made these horrifying sacrifices and let themselves be brought in, often under really challenging circumstances that they couldn't figure out and couldn't get past. And they seek their own innocence because what NKUltra is, what she is called after 25 years in a row of fighting the game with everything she has. Hell no, I won't go. Hell no, I won't go. Anybody remember that chant from the Vietnam War? Well, when she says it, she means she won't get brought in. She cannot be brought in because she refuses to sacrifice the lives of innocents in order even to save her own. So our hero becomes an inspiration and a role model for those who are being brought in or worried about being brought in, or and even those who have been brought in. Some extremely um, tired but evil people come to her at times and say things with tears in their eyes like, NKUltra, you have touched the hearts of people who long since forgot they had hearts. You have touched the hearts of people who forgot they had hearts. So our hero, NKUltra, becomes a role model for those who try to return to their own innocence. Their hands are dirty, their hands are bloody, but their hearts, they know that their hearts can be washed clean. And what she comes up with is a strategy through consultation with many other great geniuses and spiritual meditation and prayer. What she comes up with is the eye of unanimity, the idea of unanimity. Unanimity means nobody plays the game, period, at all. And she becomes aware, because it is basically a science fiction type of book, that this game is the direct result of what amounts to a computer virus in huge computers that sort of kind of run the world. She discovers primarily through interactions with members of the executive branch of the United States federal government, that there are city-sized computers under all major urban areas in the entire world, including the United States, where she was born and lived. And NKUltra becomes aware that this whole thing was actually sort of like a software infection that causes the computers that run the world to go awry on this and other planets as well. But because she starts interacting with these ETs who know about such things, NKUltra, lo and behold, comes to be aware that unanimity is in fact the secret to healing the world from the game. So in our science fiction story, there'll be much more on this later, we find out that as soon as this concept of just don't play, refuse to play, if you're asked a protection question, if you're asked to sacrifice the life of an innocent, go after the life of what is called the willful perpetuator instead. Go after the life of the person who asked you the protection question. Because when the fictional characters start eliminating enough of them, fewer people will ask protection questions, and fewer people are asked to play the game. It's a dark story, but it needs to be told. Thank you for your time and attention. My name is NK Love, the Planet Peace One.